Here's the question that should keep you up at night. What gorillas have been walking through your financial life? What opportunities have passed directly in front of you, obvious, unmistakable, practically beating their chests, that your brain filtered out completely? What wealth has been available, visible, within reach, that you never perceived because your mental filters deleted it before you could reach your conscious awareness? Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm your host, Brian Scott, and this is the Wealth Blind Spot Removal. Listen to this to dissolve the filters that hide your fortune. In 1999, two researchers at Harvard conducted an experiment that would change our understanding of human perception forever. They asked participants to watch a video of people passing basketballs and count the number of passes. Simple enough. Halfway through the video, a person in a gorilla suit walked directly into the center of the frame, beat their chest, and walked off. When the video ended, participants were asked, "Did you see the gorilla?" More than half of them had not. A gorilla, obvious, unmistakable, chest beating in the middle of the screen, had been completely invisible to them. Their brains had filtered it out entirely. It wasn't that they forgot the gorilla. They never perceived it in the first place. This is called inattentional blindness. And it's not a flaw in those particular people. It's how the human brain works. We see what we're focused on. Everything else, no matter how obvious, no matter how important, disappears. Now here's the question that should keep you up at night. What gorillas have been walking through your financial life? What opportunities have passed directly in front of you, obvious, unmistakable, practically beating their chests, that your brain filtered out completely? What wealth has been available, visible, within reach, that you never perceived because your mental filters deleted it before you could reach your conscious awareness? This is neuroscience. Your brain is actively hiding money-making opportunities from you right now. Not because it's broken, but because it's doing exactly what it was programmed to do. Today we reprogram it. There's a term in optometry called scotoma. It refers to a blind spot in your visual field, an area where you literally cannot see. Your eye might be functioning perfectly, light enters, hits the retina, sends signals to the brain, but somewhere in the processing, that particular region gets deleted. You don't see darkness there. You don't see a blank spot. You see nothing because your brain fills in the gap with whatever surrounds it, creating the seamless illusion of complete vision. You have scotomas right now. Every human does. There's a spot in each eye where the optic nerve connects to the retina, and that spot has no photoreceptors. You should see two black dots in your visual field at all times, but you don't. Your brain edits them out, fills in the background, presents you with an image that feels complete. This is your brain protecting you from irrelevant information. And it's a miracle of engineering. But here is what the neuroscientists discovered. Scotomas aren't limited to your eyes. You have psychological scotomas, perceptual blind spots that exist in your mind, not your retina. Areas of reality that get filtered out before they reach your conscious awareness. Entire categories of experience that your brain has decided are irrelevant to you, and therefore invisible. Dr. Joe Dispenza has spent decades studying how the brain constructs reality. He'll tell you that you don't perceive the world as it is. You perceive the world as you are. Your brain receives approximately 11 million bits of information per second. Your conscious mind can process maybe 40. That means your brain is deleting, distorting, and generalizing 99.9996% of reality before you ever become aware of it. What determines what gets through and what gets deleted? Your programming, your beliefs, your past experiences, and your expectations. If your brain believes something is irrelevant to your survival and goals, it filters it out. If your brain believes something doesn't exist in your reality, it makes it invisible. If your brain believes you can't have something, it literally prevents you from perceiving the pathways to get it. This is how people walk past opportunities for years, how they miss the obvious solution sitting right in front of them, how they remain poor in a world overflowing with wealth, not because the opportunities aren't there, but because their brains have been programmed to delete those opportunities before conscious perception occurs. You have wealth scotomas. We all do. Blind spots specifically calibrated to hide money-making opportunities from your awareness. And until today, you didn't even know they existed. At the base of your brain, where the brainstem meets the cortex, sits a bundle of neurons called the reticular activating system, the RAS. It's small, about the size of your little finger, but it controls something enormous. It determines what you notice. The RAS is your brain's filtering system, its gatekeeper, its bouncer at the door of consciousness. Every piece of sensory data that enters your awareness must pass through the RAS first. And the RAS has one simple question: is this relevant? If the answer is yes, the information passes through to conscious awareness. If the answer is no, it gets deleted, filtered out, made invisible. Here's the profound part. The RAS doesn't determine relevance objectively. It determines relevance based on what you have told it to look for. Have you ever bought a new car and suddenly started seeing the same car everywhere? The cars were always there, but your RAS had filtered them out as irrelevant. Once you bought one, your brain updated its relevance criteria. Suddenly, that make and model passed through the filter. Suddenly, you could see what had always been present. This works for everything. When a woman becomes pregnant, she suddenly sees pregnant women everywhere. When someone is learning a new word, they suddenly hear it in conversations all around them. When you become interested in a topic, references to the topic begin appearing as if by magic. It's not magic. It's the RAS updating its filter to let it through what it now considers relevant. Now consider what this means for wealth. If your RAS has been programmed to filter out money-making opportunities, to categorize them as irrelevant, impossible, or not for people like you, then those opportunities become invisible. They exist. They pass by you constantly. But you cannot see them because your own brain is blocking them from reaching your awareness. A wealthy person and a poor person can walk down the same street, pass the same business, meet the same people, hear the same conversations. The wealthy person sees opportunity everywhere. The poor person sees nothing but confirmation of how hard life is. Same street, same reality, different RAS programming, different perception, different lives. Your RAS was programmed in childhood long before you had any say in the matter. You absorbed the beliefs of your parents, your community, your culture. You downloaded their scotomas along with their language. You inherited their blind spots as surely as you inherited their eye color. But here's what changes everything. The RAS can be reprogrammed. The filters can be updated. The scotomas can be dissolved. That's what we're doing now. Let me take you back. Back before you had words. Back before you had conscious thoughts. Back to when you were a tiny pattern recognition machine downloading everything in your environment without any capacity for critical evaluation. In those early years, you learned about money, not from lessons, from observation, from the feeling in the room when bills arrived, from the tension in your mother's voice when your father spent too much, from the phrases repeated so often they became invisible. We can't afford that. Money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are greedy. You have to work hard for your money. These weren't just words. They were programming instructions installing directly into your developing reticular activating system. They taught your brain what to filter in and what to filter out. They created the scotomas you still carry today. Maybe you learned that opportunities are rare and must be fought for. So your RAS began filtering out abundant opportunities that didn't match the program. Maybe you learned that money comes only through struggle and sacrifice. So your RAS began filtering out easy money. It didn't fit the paradigm. Maybe you learned that wealthy people are somehow different from you. So your reticular activating system began filtering out evidence that you could become wealthy. It conflicted with your identity. These filters have been operating for decades, silently, automatically, deleting opportunities before you could even consider them. Think about how many times you've dismissed an idea that came to you, a business concept, a creative notion, a possible investment, something whispered in your mind. What if you? And before the sentence finished, another voice shut it down. That would never work. You don't have the skills. Someone's already doing that. It's risky. The second voice wasn't wisdom. It was your scotoma speaking. It was your filter blocking an opportunity that didn't match its programming. Now multiply that by every day of your life, every dismissed nudge, every rejected idea, every time you didn't buy Bitcoin when it was at $1 or buy Apple stock at the beginning. Some of these deleted opportunities would have failed, yes, but some of them would have worked. Some of them would have changed everything, and you'll never know which was which because you never got to consciously choose. Your reticular activating system chose for you, based on programming you didn't install and can't remember receiving. The wealthy don't have better opportunities than you. They have fewer filters. Their RAS lets through possibilities that yours deletes. They see doors you can't perceive. They notice paths you're blind to. They aren't luckier. They're less filtered. And here's the most important thing I can tell you. Your filters are not permanent. They're not hardwired. They're software, not hardware. And software can be updated. Let me describe some of what your scotomas have been hiding. Not to make you feel regret. Regret is useless. But to begin awakening your perception to categories of opportunity you may have never considered. First, opportunities disguised as problems. Every problem is a business. Every frustration is a potential product. Every complaint is a market waiting to be served. But if your reticular activating system is programmed to see problems as obstacles rather than opportunities, you filter out this entire category of wealth creation. The person who created the suitcase with wheels saw the same heavy luggage everyone else saw, but perceived opportunity where others perceived annoyance. The person who created voice to text saw the same tedious typing everyone else experienced, but perceived opportunity where others perceived inconvenience, even with a few wrong words. How many problems have you complained about without once considering what your frustration might be shared by millions who would pay for a solution? Your scotoma hid the opportunity inside the problem. Second, opportunities disguised as ordinary people. Every person you meet is a potential connection to something you cannot currently see. They know people you don't know. They need things you could provide. They have skills that complement yours. They are looking for exactly what you're looking to give. But if your RAS is programmed to categorize people quickly, not relevant, not in my field, can't help me, you filter out relationship opportunities constantly. You walk past future partners, future clients, future mentors, future collaborators. They are invisible to you because your filter says they don't matter. The wealthy treat every person as a potential doorway, not manipulatively, genuinely. They are curious about everyone because they know opportunity often arrives wearing ordinary clothes. Third, opportunities disguised as your existing skills. You have abilities right now that people would pay for. Skills you've dismissed as ordinary because everyone you know has them. Knowledge you've discounted because you acquired it easily. Talents you've minimized because they feel natural. But common to you might be rare to others. What feels effortless to you might feel impossible to someone else. Your scotoma hides the value of your own capabilities by comparing them only to people like you. There are people right now struggling with something you could teach them in an afternoon. There are people right now searching for someone with exactly your combination of skills. There are problems right now that your particular perspective could solve. But you can't see this because your filter says your abilities aren't special enough. Fourth, opportunities disguised as small beginnings. Your RAS might be programmed to look for big breaks, The lottery win, the viral video, the overnight success. Meanwhile, it filters out the small opportunities that compound into large ones. The wealthy understand that most fortunes begin with amounts that seem almost embarrassingly small. The first sale, the first client, the first tiny royalty check. These small beginnings are seeds, and your scotoma might be preventing you from perceiving the seeds because you're only looking for forests. Fifth, opportunities disguised as apparent failures. Sometimes the best opportunity wears the costume of rejection. The job you didn't get that would have trapped you. The investment you missed that would have lost money. The relationship that ended before it could drain you. But if your RAS categorizes all rejection as failure, you miss the redirection. You don't see the opportunity that's opening because you're too busy staring at the ones that closed. Sixth, opportunities existing in your current environment. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to become anyone else. Opportunities exist in your life right now, within your current circumstances, using your current resources, but scotomas make us believe opportunity is elsewhere, in another city, in another industry, in another version of our lives, so we filter out what's actually available while fantasizing about what might be. These categories represent billions of dollars of opportunity that most people never perceive. Not because the opportunities are hidden, but because their own neurology hides them. Your neurology is about to change. What I'm about to guide you through is a systematic dissolution of your wealth scotomas. We're not adding anything to your brain. We're removing obstructions. We're not teaching you new skills. We're deleting the filters that block skills you already have from being applied. We're not creating opportunities. We're enabling you to finally perceive the opportunities that have always existed. This works through a principle that neuroscience has confirmed repeatedly. Where attention goes, neural pathways grow. When you focus on something constantly, your brain rewires itself to perceive more of it. The reticular activating system updates its relevance criteria. The filters shift, the scotomas dissolve. But there's something even deeper happening. At the quantum level, observation affects what's being observed. The act of perceiving doesn't just reveal reality, it participates in creating it. When you begin to look for opportunity, opportunity begins to look for you. This is science revealing what the mystics always knew. Consciousness and reality are not separate. Your perception is not passive. You are a creative participant in the world you experience. So let's begin dissolving. First, we address the core filter, the belief that opportunity is scarce. Feel into this belief right now, the sense that opportunities are rare, that good ones are taken, that you have to compete fiercely for a limited supply. This belief might feel like realism to you. It might feel like simply acknowledging how the world works. But it's a filter, and it's been hiding abundance from you. I want you to consider the opposite possibility not as something to force yourself to believe, but as a hypothesis to try on. What if opportunities are actually infinite? What if new ones are being created constantly? What if there are more money-making possibilities in existence right now than every human on Earth could possibly pursue? The number of problems to be solved is infinite. The number of ways to provide value is infinite. The number of possible combinations of skills, markets, and timing is infinite. You've been looking at an infinite ocean through a tiny filter that made it look like a puddle. Let that filter begin to soften. Let the possibility of infinite opportunity begin to seep into your neurology. Something is already shifting in your RAS. Your brain is beginning to update its relevance criteria. New categories of perception are coming online. Now we address the second filter, the belief that you can't recognize opportunity when you see it. You've told yourself you're not business-minded. You don't have the instincts wealthy people have, that opportunity recognition is a talent you weren't born with. This is a scotoma about scotomas. A belief that blindness is permanent, and it's been keeping you from trusting the perceptions that we're actually getting through. The truth is, you've had hunches, you've had ideas, you felt drawn towards certain possibilities. These weren't random firings. These were opportunities that managed to slip past your filters and then got dismissed by your conscious mind because it had been taught not to trust them. Your opportunity recognition system is not broken. It's been overruled. It's been working in the background trying to alert you while your programming kept shutting it down. From this moment forward, these signals get elevated. These hunches get taken seriously. Those quiet nudges toward possibility get treated as the valuable information they are. Feel your brain adjusting. Feel the filter dissolving. Feel your capacity to recognize opportunity expanding in real time. Now we address the third filter, the belief that opportunity must look a certain way. You've been searching for opportunity in specific forms, job listings, business plan templates, investment categories you've heard of. Your reticular activating system has been programmed with a narrow definition of what opportunity looks like, and it's been deleting everything that doesn't match. But opportunity is creative, it's playful, it often arrives disguised as something you'd never expect, a casual conversation, a random article, a problem you thought was just a nuisance, a skill you thought was worthless. Let your definition of opportunity expand now. Let it become so broad that it includes anything that could possibly lead to value creation. Let your RAS update its categories to include forms of opportunity you've never considered before. You're not just looking for job listings anymore. You're looking for gaps in markets. You're looking for unmet needs. You're looking for undervalued assets. You're looking for skills that could be combined in new ways. You're looking for problems that could become products. You're looking for connections that could become collaborations. Your opportunity radar is expanding its range. Frequencies you couldn't detect before are becoming visible. Forms of wealth creation you couldn't perceive are coming into view. Your reticular activating system doesn't just filter what you see. It filters all your senses. It determines what you hear, what you notice in your body, what thoughts get your attention. We're about to open new channels across all of these. First, opportunity hearing. Wealth-relevant information passes through your ears constantly. Conversations around you, podcasts you half listen to, complaints from friends and family, news stories that scroll past. Within this constant stream of sound are signals, specific pieces of information that could lead to money-making action. But your auditory filters have been deleting most of them. You hear the words, but don't perceive the opportunity embedded within them. I want you to imagine your hearing expanding now. Not becoming louder, becoming more refined. Developing the capacity to notice when someone describes a problem they'd pay to solve. To recognize when a conversation reveals an unmet market need. To detect when information passes by that could be leveraged into value. Your ears are becoming opportunity sensors. They're beginning to pick up frequencies they've been missing. The filter that said this conversation isn't relevant is dissolving, replaced by a new filter that asks, where is the opportunity here? Second, opportunity feeling. Your body gives you signals, hunches, gut feelings, subtle physical sensations when something is right or wrong. This somatic wisdom has been guiding humans for millions of years, and your filters have been overriding it. How many times have you felt drawn towards something but talked yourself out of it? How many times has your body said yes while your programming said no? How many opportunities passed because you trusted your filters more than your instincts? Feel your body coming online now as an opportunity detection system. The subtle yes that emerges when something is aligned, the expansion in your chest when possibility presents itself, the tingling of recognition when the right path appears. These signals have always been there. Your body's been trying to guide you toward wealth. The filter that dismissed these signals is just feelings is dissolving. You're learning to trust your somatic wisdom again. Third, opportunity thinking. Ideas arrive constantly. Some are memories, some are random associations, and some are genuine inspiration. Downloads from a field of infinite intelligence that knows things your conscious mind doesn't. But your filters have been reading all thoughts as equal, or worse, treating the inspired ones as fantasies to be dismissed, while taking the fearful ones seriously. Feel your thought filtering system updating now. Inspired ideas get flagged as important. Creative opportunities get attention instead of dismissal. When a business concept or money-making notion floats through your mind, it no longer gets deleted by default. It gets examined, it gets valued, it gets explored. Your mind is becoming a receiving station for opportunity intelligence. The same ideas that made millionaires of ordinary people are available to everyone, but only those with open filters can receive them. Your filters are opening. Fourth, opportunity seeing. Finally, we return to visual perception, the original domain of the scotoma, the place where you literally cannot see what's in front of you. I want you to imagine your visual field right now, the room you're in or the space around you. Now imagine a layer of reality that's been invisible to you, a wealth layer. Opportunity has a visual signature that you've been blind to. It exists in the environment, but your eyes have been editing it out. Feel that layer becoming visible, like putting on special glasses that reveal what was always there. The business idea suggested by the product in your room that could be improved. The service opportunity implied by the way your space is organized. The collaboration potential represented by the contracts in your phone. You're beginning to see the wealth layer of reality, the layer that's always existed but has been filtered from your vision. Objects aren't just objects anymore. They are potential. People aren't just people. They're possible partnerships. Problems aren't just problems. They are markets waiting to be served. Your visual scotomas are dissolving. They're seeing more of what's actually there. Let's practice this new perception together. I want to guide you through experiencing reality without the old filters, so your brain has a template for what this feels like. Think of your current work situation. Whatever you do to earn money now, bring it to mind. With your old filters, you saw this situation in a particular way, perhaps as limited, perhaps as a means to an end, perhaps as something you're stuck with, perhaps as all you're qualified to do. Now let the perception engage. Look at your work situation as pure opportunity, not what it is, what it could become. What adjacent possibilities exist that you've been blind to? What skills you are developing that have applications you haven't considered? What problems do you see that someone would pay to solve? What relationships exist that could open doors you haven't noticed? Feel your perception shifting. The same situation begins to look different. Opportunities that were scotomized begin to appear. Possibilities that were filtered begin to emerge. This is what the wealthy see when they look at any situation, not limitations. Possibilities, not the way things are, the way things could be. Their filters let through what yours have been deleting. Now think of your current financial resources. Whatever amount of money you have access to right now. With your old filters, you saw this as not enough, as limiting, as insufficient for real wealth building. Now let the new perception engage. What could this amount of money do if strategically deployed? What tiny investments could compound? What skills could be learned for this amount that would multiply the investment many times over? What opportunities exist at this exact price point that you've been blind to? Every fortune started with an amount that seemed too small to matter. Your filters have been saying this isn't enough to do anything with. The new perception asks, what could this become? Now think of your network, the people you know. With your old filters, you saw most of these relationships as personal or social, not relevant to wealth creation. Now let the new perception engage. Who in your network is struggling with a problem you could help solve? Who knows someone who needs what you could offer? Who has skills that complement yours in ways that could create value together? Who is looking for exactly what you're looking to give? The connections are there. The collaborative opportunities are there. The wealth-generating relationships are there. Your filters have been categorizing them as just friends or just acquaintances. The new perception sees them as nodes in a network of infinite possibility. Now think of your own abilities, your skills, your knowledge, your background, your experience, your unique perspective. With your old filters, you've been comparing yourself to the most skilled people in every category, finding yourself lacking, discounting what you're able to do. Now let the new perception emerge. What can you do that others can't? What combination of abilities do you have that's rare? What do people ask your help with? And why don't you charge for that? What have you learned through experience that others would pay to know? You've been walking around as $1 million skill set, perceiving yourself as ordinary. The wealth was always inside you, your filters just hid it from view. Let me describe how the wealthy actually perceive the world. Not as aspiration, as a template. When a wealthy perceiving person wakes up, they don't see a day of obligations, they see a field of possibility. Every conversation is potentially valuable. Every problem is potentially profitable. Every person is potentially connected to something extraordinary. They don't hope opportunities will appear. They know opportunities are constant. When they face setbacks, they don't perceive failure, they perceive information. When they look at their resources, whatever amount they have, they perceive leverage points. They see what money could become, not what it currently is. They perceive multiplication where others perceive limitation. When they meet people, they are genuinely curious. Not, what can this person do for me? That's scarcity thinking, but what value could we create together? What does this person know that I don't? What might emerge from this connection that neither of us can see yet? When they have ideas, they take them seriously. They know that ideas are visitors, that inspiration doesn't wait around for people who dismiss it. This isn't a personality type. This isn't a gift some people have. This is a perception pattern. It's a software. Every description I've just given is rewiring your brain. Your neurons are forming new connections around these patterns. Your reticular activating system is updating to match this model. Your filters are reconfiguring to allow this kind of perception. You are becoming someone who perceives wealth naturally, not through effort, through clarity, not through straining, through removing obstruction. The filters we've loosened will continue dissolving. The perceptions we've opened will continue expanding far beyond this activation. The calibration we've begun will continue refining. In the next few days, pay attention. You'll begin noticing things you've never noticed before. Opportunities will start appearing in places you've walked past 1,000 times. Ideas will arrive that feel different from your usual thoughts. People will say things that suddenly sound like invitations you've never heard before. This is not coincidence. This is your scotomas dissolving in real time. This is your perception updating. This is you beginning to see what was always there. Some of what you notice will seem small and trivial, easy to dismiss as not significant. Do not dismiss it. The small noticing is evidence that your perception is changing. Honor the small. Appreciate the trivial. Let your brain know that you're serious about this new way of seeing. Some of what you notice will seem too big, too good, too unlikely for someone like you. This is your old programming trying to reassert itself, trying to restore the filters, trying to return you to comfortable blindness. Do not let it. When opportunity appears that seems too much, that's exactly the opportunity your old filters would have deleted. That's the gorilla in the room you would have missed. Pay attention to it. Examine it. Let yourself consider that maybe, just maybe, it's actually for you. You're not the person you were when this began. Your reticular activating system has been programmed. You are someone new, someone who sees what most people miss. The world hasn't changed. Every opportunity that exists now existed before, but you have changed. Your filters have changed. Your perception has changed. You will walk out of this activation into the same physical reality and experience it completely differently, like someone who has just put on glasses after years of blurred vision, like someone who just gained a sense they never knew they had. The opportunities aren't new. Your ability to see them is. Say this with me. I am so happy and grateful now that I perceive money-making opportunities constantly and clearly, that my wealth scotomas have dissolved, that my reticular activating system is programmed for abundance perception, and I see what others miss, and that I act on what I perceive with confidence and joy. Your blind spots have been illuminated. Your filters have been cleared. The wealth that was always around you is becoming visible. The opportunities that were always available are becoming clear. The abundance that was always yours is becoming perceivable at last. Go and see what you've been missing. Welcome to the clear vision that is available to you. Now, for my last word, I would recommend that you join the Reality Revolution community so we can expand your perceptual skills and go deeper on your abilities to manifest money. You can find it at school.com, skool.com/reality revolution. The link is in the description. This amazing community has changed my life. We have unique and exclusive content and weekly group coaching sessions and the most amazing people that post on a regular basis. You do not want to miss it. I'd love it if you checked out my art. You can find it at www.newearth.art. You can find all episodes of The Reality Revolution at therealityrevolution.com. I'm sending you all my light, all my love, and seeing you awakened with all your filters dissolved. Welcome to the Reality Revolution. Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm Brian Scott, and I have a huge announcement. I'm so excited to finally let you know that on February 27th at the Newark Airport Hilton, we're holding a 3-day immersive meditative experience designed to create the most profound transformation possible. We created this event specifically because so many of you couldn't make it to the LA event. We got to work, and after looking everywhere, we found the Newark Airport Hilton to be the most central and reasonably priced location. You don't just learn about timeline shifting, you actually do it. You don't just understand the concepts philosophically, you embody them. On Friday, we start with activating your pineal gland, your gateway to higher consciousness. Then you meet your higher self and learn to quantum jump into your greatest timeline. And by the end of the day, you will do my most powerful meditation where you actually become your future self from that greatest timeline. We get together for a group karaoke and sing along and community celebration because joy and connection are just as essential to your transformation as the deep work. This is your invitation to step into the life that's calling you forward. Let's do this together. I can't wait to meet you. Once again, it's www.brianscottlive.com/February-2026.